quote, passionate, engaging, charismatic, wonderful, awesome, humorous, caring, and so on. And that is just a small sample. I want to share just one remark that a student made in the evaluations of this course. The student writes, "This is an important course that everyone needs to take. It actually changed my perspective on the world and truly increased my well-being. Professor Kaufman is absolutely hilarious and so kind-hearted. There's no way you couldn't love him." I want to share one other remark. This class does more than teach you a subject. You get to understand yourself better and even improve as a person. I've had the privilege of developing a friendship with Dr. Kaufman, and I enthusiastically agree with these sentiments. He is one of the most positive, caring people it has ever been my pleasure to know, and it's true that there's no way one cannot help but love him. Please join me in welcoming Scott Kaufman. I'm nervous.
So hello and warm welcome to parents, professors, graduating seniors. Congratulations for completing a very worthy milestone in your lives. So my name is Barry Kaufman, and I teach the Introduction to Positive Psychology course here at Penn, and I also conduct research on imagination, creativity, and well-being in the Positive Psychology Center. As you all embark on this next stage of your journey, I thought I'd offer you some suggestions based on my own research as well as my own personal experiences. First, I wanted to start with a suggestion that I hope you all find a way someday to sign the paper. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. So, as a child, I had many ear infections, and I developed a learning disability called central auditory processing disorder, which made it very hard for me to process information in real time. People thought I was very stupid. Everyone did, from the teachers to the students. I was bullied a lot. I was forced to repeat third grade, and I joined special education. And I remained in special education until ninth grade, when a teacher encouraged me to take more challenging classes and see what I was truly capable of becoming. And I want to say this moment in my life changed my life. I experimented with so many different things, including the cello. In fact, I fell in love with the cello so much that I practiced as much as 8 hours a day over the summer under the mentoring of my grandfather, who was a cellist for the Philadelphia Orchestra. And by senior year, I ended up second cellist in the high school orchestra and won the All Music Department Award. And I also caught up academically and became college bound. And I was very excited that I was college bound, and I looked at all the options that were available, and I wanted to redefine our metrics of human intelligence. And I found Carnegie Mellon, which had a wonderful cognitive science program, and I applied to Carnegie Mellon, and I wrote in my personal statement how I wanted to redefine intelligence, and I got rejected because presumably my SAT scores were too low to redefine human intelligence. I thought that was some ironic, yes. So, undeterred, I looked at the other departments at Carnegie Mellon that didn't look so highly at SAT scores, and I found the opera department. And I went right into their opera program. I said, here, I'd like to audition here for your amazing opera program. And I always wanted to be an opera singer. I was like high school choir. And I sang Stars from Les Miserables for my audition. And they accepted me on a scholarship to Carnegie Mellon University. Apparently the departments don't talk to each other. So once I got to Carnegie Mellon, second semester, went to the psychology department, and my heart was beating so fast. I wanted to make it not seem like I'd been planning this my whole life or anything like that. And I went to the secretary and I said, hey, I took a introduction to psychology here at Carnegie Mellon, and I thought it was incredible. Who knew I would love psychology so much? Do you think maybe I could be a minor in psychology? And she said, yeah, whatever. She was like eating her bologna sandwich or whatever. She really could care less about my life. And she said, yeah, just sign this paper. And I remember like skipping home back to my dorm room that day with this paper in my hand, as most musical theater majors did. So I was skipping around campus. But I remember thinking to myself that I feel like I discovered the secret to the universe. Like I feel like I discovered something that I just had to tell everyone, which is why I'm telling you all this today. All the people that are on the other side of that mountain, I just want to tell them, find a way to sign that damn paper. You know, find a way to. No one needs to know how much you've struggled, what sort of unconventional paths you've taken to where you want to go, or any sort of, you didn't take the normal standardized route. No one needs to know all that. All they need to do is see you shine. And in order to shine, just find a way to sign the clerical paper. By the way, the following semester, I went back to the same secretary and was like, look, I just took another course in psychology here, and it was like even better than the first one, Introduction to Psychology. I think it was like cognitive psychology. I was like, did you have to be a major in psychology? And she's like, yeah, just sign these 2 pieces of paper, and really leave me alone. No one in the history of Cardinal has ever been this excited to be a minor in psychology, and or even a major in psychology. Well, I graduated Phi Beta Kappa in psychology, and I've been working on trying to redefine intelligence ever since. So that's the first thing, find a way to sign the paper. The next thing I want to suggest is that you all change how you measure your life. Up to this point, many of you have defined your happiness in relation to external goals, such as finals being over, getting a good GPA, or receiving praise from professors and parents. And this has worked for most of you. You have felt safe and secure as long as you've successfully passed the tests and made everyone happy. I just want to say, as you move forward in the next stage of your life, this way of measuring your success just won't do. What you will soon realize, if you haven't realized it already, is that completing goals, just for the sake of completing goals, becomes a deeply unsatisfying endeavor. You will find it increasingly important to see what psychologists refer to as self-concordant goals, goals that are consistent with your identity, basic needs, personality, and talents. Research shows that setting extrinsic goals, such as money, beauty, and status, tend to make you much less happy, whereas attaining intrinsic goals, such as intimacy, community, and personal growth, tends to lead to enhanced well-being. So my advice for this one is to choose your goals very wisely and to go towards the things that most interest you. Everything else will somehow take care of itself. I don't know how it happens, but I've noticed personally, it just does. The universe somehow conspires. I don't mean that in the secret sort of way, but it's scientifically, I bet I could prove that someday, Angela, that it just does something. Which leads me to the next important thing I want to say, and that's don't forget the importance of love. Research shows the single best predictor of human happiness is the quality of our relationships. Indeed, this is one of the most replicable findings in the science of well-being, and this is amongst the sea of, the replication crisis and all that. Now, I want to make clear what I mean by love. I'm not just talking about the kind of love you have with a marriage partner or with a boyfriend or girlfriend. To me, love is a way of being, or relating to others and with yourself. It involves acceptance of people for who they are and not trying to change them. It involves attempting to truly understand a person, really see them, like that special education teacher really saw me for the first time in 9th grade. By giving others permission to just be themselves, to express their most inner desires, and have the freedom and autonomy to express who they really are, well, to me, that is true love. For instance, when someone says something that immediately makes you feel uncomfortable, your gut reaction might be something like, oh, that's stupid, or that's not fair, that person made me uncomfortable, I'm going to tell someone about that. However, I personally found, and I just want you to consider this, that if I take the time to really understand the intentions of the other person, where they are coming from, why perhaps they may have said what they said, then an authentic relationship often blooms, one that is surprisingly beneficial to both of us. You might find that both people change. So here's my advice for this one. Do not be scared of having your mind changed. Do not be scared of being wrong. Be aware of the fact that no one person has the truth. The truth requires multiple perspectives, and you can learn something from virtually anyone. Even Robert Kurtzman. No, I'm joking. But we joke like this when we hang out. So, it just transferred over to the second. Even if you vehemently disagree with a person, I want to say listen to them. Try to understand them. You will find that this way of having love for others, this way of relating to the world, and even with yourself, will bring you riches, many riches, and a much more fulfilling life. And finally, I want to suggest that you trust your deepest self. Look, I know nearly every commencement speech you'll ever hear, someone says something like, listen to your intuition, right? Didn't Steve Jobs famously say, listen to your intuition? But I'd like to be a bit more specific here. There are a set of values that reside deep within you. Values for what feels right, what feels wrong, what feels like you, what feels like someone else. As you go throughout life, it will become increasingly important for you to develop an increasing trust in your ability to know what is right for you. All of us have experienced that nagging sense that something just isn't right. Happy, healthy, growth-oriented individuals listen to that feeling. So my advice for this one is this. Trust yourself to abandon a goal or even distance yourself from people if they are no longer appropriate for your growth, and you may not be no longer appropriate for their growth. Constantly consult your deep values when making choices about which goals to adopt. You and you alone have the power to revise your goals as you learn more about yourself and your unique place in this world. Look, you will rarely regret moving in a direction that feels right to you, but you do risk living a life with a lot of regret if you constantly make choices that pull you away from who you really are. As the great humanistic psychotherapist Carl Rogers, who I have a great affinity for, once noted, trust the totality of your experience. It is often much wiser than your intellect. So look, these are just some of the things that I've learned in my life so far that I wanted to share with you. Truth is, life is a process. You're always in the process of becoming, and you will be much happier and fulfilled if you think of life in this way. I hope you find this advice useful, and congratulations again, and best of luck to you all in becoming all the beautiful things you are all more than capable of becoming.
Thank you for those inspiring words and the backhanded compliment. Appreciate both of those. What I'm going to do now is introduce